With more, I want to bring in criminal defense lawyer Monte MacGregor. He's in Toronto. Monte, good morning. Glad you could be with us.
Good morning,
So
Martha.
let's get straight to it. The focus will be on determining if Manassian is criminally responsible for these deaths. The legal threshold for this is very high. What are the challenges for the defense?
I think the defense faces a significant uphill battle to try and demonstrate that Mr. Manassian was not criminally responsible at the time. First, it requires, it'll be effectively a battle of experts, of psychiatrists, of Dr. Bradford and Dr. Woodside. And what the defense has to demonstrate, first of all, is that Mr. Manassian had a recognized disorder or a disease of the mind, which is actually a legal term. It's not a medical term, but it usually accompanies a formal medical diagnosis demonstrating that at the time of the offense, that psychological impact or that psychiatric deficit was impacting his mind and his ability to understand and appreciate what he was doing at the time that this occurred.
Why would the defense choose this way of making their case?
Well, fundamentally, the case is overwhelming as a first-degree murder where it's planned and deliberate, given his longstanding desire to accomplish this objective, the fact that he went and pursued a van and had written extensively about this. So given that Canada is designed to, our laws are designed to punish people, if they know that they're making the choice to engage in the act that's unlawful. And that's really the question here, because our system isn't designed to punish people that can't appreciate the nature and the quality of their act. And if you're a very good example is if you're epileptic and you have a car crash, at the time you're out of control, you're not capable of understanding and appreciating what's happening. It's much along those lines.
So what will the judge be looking for in this case? And we should just point out, Monty, to all of our viewers, all of this is going to be done through Zoom. It's all going to be virtual, which means Manassian won't have to look at family members or victims of family members. But ultimately, what is the judge going to have to look at?
All right. Well, first, what's curious about the Zoom comment, Marcia, is that I've found that doing Zoom trials may actually afford the family a greater opportunity to gauge the impact of how Mr. Manassian responds to this information, because in a courtroom, you'd be looking at his back and you get fleeting glimpses of him as he travels in and out of the courtroom. Whereas now on Zoom, what I've found is that the individual's face will be up and visible at all times as the evidence is coming out. So that might be either harder or it will be an anguishing experience for the family. This might even be harder to have to deal with, to actually see his face and see whether or not he's got any emotional response to what's before him. The challenges for the judge, as I said, well, this is the Honorable Justice Malloy, who's extremely experienced and very capable and not afraid to make a difficult decision, in my experience, dealing with her. And so what I think she has to grapple with is mostly whether or not there's a disease of the mind that's active at the time, because it appears from a lot of the post-offense conduct of Mr. Manassian that he did appreciate the nature and the consequences of what was going on, or at least he knew that it was morally and legally improper what he did. And what I mean is, if you think of his formal statement, which has been released and is available as evidence on this matter, his utterance in the police station, and even his conduct when he was arrested at the roadside, where he seemingly acknowledged the police officer's authority, his purpose. He tried to induce him to shoot him, recognizing the wrongfulness of his act. I think there's a significant hurdle for the defense, and this is set for 4 weeks, so there will be quite a significant battle between the two experts to determine his state of mind at the time.
Okay, Monte MacGregor, criminal defense lawyer. Monte, thank you so much for that analysis.